Everybody, welcome back to the Sunnydale Review. I'm Brian.
I'm Jillian.
Jillian, this is the last one of our redo.
Yes. Hopefully the last episode we will ever have to redo.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Knowing my luck with stuff, no. But hopefully. But how are you doing? You ready to tackle these two episodes?
Yep. Rocky and I are over here and ready to go.
Yeah, we've added a new co-host to the show, Rocky Balboa the cat. Very, very cute cat.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you should be because he's adorable. Let me get him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Here.
Not big on talking, adding to the discussion, but big on the adorable factor.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely adds some cuteness points for us.
Oh, absolutely.
No, don't leave.
We should have. He's like, I'm not cute. How dare you? I'm a masculine cat.
Sorry.
Should get
and maybe he'll come join us.
Yeah. We should get a little picture of him and then have Tamor edit that into one of the thumbnails. Or edit him in the background. Yeah. Something for the future, perhaps.
I can send you some pictures. As a cat
Awesome.
owner, I have no lack of pictures of my cats.
That, hey, sounds great to me. So what episodes are we covering in this episode?
All right, in this episode, we are covering Season 4, Episodes 8 and 9, Pangs and Something Blue.
All right. So let's just get into it, starting out with Pangs.
Okay. Before we start covering this episode, I feel the need to put in kind of like a warning here.
Okay.
We recognize that this episode can be and is very tone deaf and is not, let's say, politically correct toward Native American culture, and is not as politically correct as would be required in this day and age.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yes. This episode aired November 23rd, 1999.
Yeah.
But even by that standards, it was probably a little bit tone deaf, but not quite as bad. We recognize that it is not up to today's standards of political correctness, but we need to cover it for this show, and it really is a fun episode if you kind of just put all the not greatness aside.
Right. So this episode's kind of, other than that, this episode's kind of special, right?
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving and a crossover.
Yes, that as well. So it's part of like a multi-part crossover between Buffy and Angel, which is super fun.
Yeah, it's really well done. I will say the Angel episode of this is a little bit more impactful and better, I would say.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait until we cover season 1 of Angel to talk about that.
Yep, which we do plan on covering after we're done with season 4 of Buffy.
Yeah, so
we're gonna kind of alternate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm especially excited to talk about the second half of this episode. But let's get into it with Pangs.
All right. So Pangs, season 4, episode 8, like I said, originally aired November 23rd, 1999. Written by Jane Espenson and directed by Michael Lange.
Gotcha.
So let's see. Buffy is out patrolling and takes out a vampire. It's revealed that she is being watched from the shadows by Angel. So right away, you get to see Angel, which is really nice. The next day at UC Sunnydale, their anthropology department is breaking ground on their new cultural center. A few days before Thanksgiving, Xander is part of the construction crew, and Willow, Buffy, and Anya are there supporting him. Anya is very into watching Xander dig.
Yeah, she is. She's about this construction. Xander.
It should also be noted that Buffy is wearing a cowboy hat in this scene.
Yes, she is.
A little bit of, again, we know that this episode is not politically correct, but it is kind of feeding into this whole cowboys and Indians thing that they have going on. Willow is expressing her dislike of Thanksgiving because it's celebrating the destruction of an indigenous people. Anya describes it as a ritual sacrifice with pie.
And she is not wrong.
No. As Xander starts to dig, the ground he's standing on breaks and he falls into what is revealed to be a failed failed mission that sunk and was buried as a result of an earthquake. It's later revealed in this episode that it's kind of a similar thing that happened with the church that the Master was in episode or season 1, where he was in like a church that had sunk into the ground and been buried. People thought it was lost, where really it was just underneath, and they kind of built on top of it.
Right.
So let's see. Buffy decides that while she agrees with Willow about Thanksgiving being a sham holiday, that she thinks it's a sham with yams. It's a yam sham.
This line. It's so fun.
So Buffy talks Willow into allowing for the Scoobies to celebrate Thanksgiving, with so it'd be her, Xander, Giles, and Willow. Willow suggests they not invite Anya.
Oh.
He's back.
Yes.
Let's see. Buffy says, isn't that the whole point of Thanksgiving? Everyone has a place to go. We immediately transition into a shot of Spike walking alone in the woods, clearly paler than usual and wrapped in a blanket. He looks emaciated and is still on the run from the initiative.
Yes, and I'll give a shout out to Passion of the Nerd here. The way he describes Spike is like always the sexy drama queen is just so fun and funny.
Well, because he's wearing, first of all, vampires don't feel cold because they are room temperature. Second of all, he's still wearing the leather jacket that he always wears, but now he just has this like ripped and tattered blanket on top of him too, and it's hysterical.
I love it. I love Spike so much.
Let's see. We find out Riley and the Commandos are heading home for the holidays. Anya goes to check on Xander because she showed up to watch him dig and he wasn't there. He's sick, and she tells him that he can't go to work. She says she inflicted a lot of terrifying illnesses on guys in her days as a vengeance demon, and he looks like he's getting all of them.
That's not comforting.
No. It's exactly what you want to hear from your girlfriend.
Right.
The spirit of a Native American warrior escapes from the mission and steals a knife. He kills the head of the cultural center. Yeah,
so pretty brutal. He just like slits her throat with like a stone knife. That's a horrible way to go.
Let's see. Buffy talks Giles into hosting Thanksgiving, then heads out to start picking up food for the gathering. Once she's gone, Angel is revealed to have been hiding in Giles' apartment. Giles tells Angel that he can tell Buffy that he's back in town. Angel makes an excuse that if she knew he was there, it would distract her and might end up actually getting her killed, fulfilling the vision that his friend saw. So basically, Angel's in town because a friend of his saw a vision that Buffy was in danger, which I don't know how that's any different than any other regular week for her. Yeah. She's always in danger of some sort or kind. And so we see that in the Angel episode, Bachelor Party, which causes Angel to come to Sunnydale for this episode.
Right. And I'll just say, Angel never really has a problem letting people know that they're in danger in his show. So
yeah,
this is a load of malarkey.
Well, I mean, I just don't imagine, like, what if Angel decided to, like, pick up the phone and call Buffy and be like, Buffy, a friend of mine saw a vision, you're in danger.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like, and?
Yeah. Like, sounds about right.
It's like you're telling me that tomorrow it's going to be sunny in sunny Southern California.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. While out shopping for food, Willow and Buffy run into Riley. Willow gives them a few minutes to be alone and chat, stepping away to go get a coffee before she's intercepted by Angel. He explains that he's there because his friend saw a vision that Buffy was in trouble. Willow tells Angel to tell Buffy that he's there, but Angel gives the same excuse that he gave Giles. And then he asks like who Riley is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really funny.
I love too when she was like, evil. You're evil. He's like, no, I'm not evil.
Well, it's that he's like, he has his hand over her mouth so she doesn't scream before she realizes who it is. And you could hear her under his hand, like, "What are you doing? You're evil again, aren't you?" And he's like, "Why does everybody always think I'm evil?" But I mean, that would be my thought too.
Oh, no doubt. Listen, season 2 was rough.
Yeah.
When he was evil, so it's still fresh in their minds, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Buffy goes to speak to a priest that Giles pointed her to regarding the missing knife and the murder of the cultural center director, only to get there in time to witness the Native American spirit warrior murdering him as well. Buffy fights the spirit, but who uses Buffy's liberal guilt about what her ancestors did to his people to convince her to let him go. He then transforms into a flock of birds and disappears. Again, let me reiterate. We realize and understand and fully acknowledge that at times this episode is completely tone deaf and not politically correct. Yeah. This is one of the heavier really examples of that.
It does like this, and it like turns into like a giant bird shape, and then a bunch of birds come out of that, and it's just like, oh no.
It's not great.
Yeah.
I will say, like, my favorite parts of this episode are the parts where he's not even in the scenes.
Yeah, right.
It's just our characters interacting. I don't know if that makes it any better. I don't know. But yeah, so Buffy heads back to Giles' place, where she unloads her confusion and frustration with the whole situation onto Giles while they prep for Thanksgiving dinner. Willow arrives with a stack of books and explains that the Shumash were a peaceful Native American tribe that had a lot of like really bad things done to them by the colonials. They determine that the spirit is reenacting those atrocities that were done on his people to the people that he thinks of as his aggressors. So the director of the cultural center, the priest, Xander as the person who woke him up, and Buffy as the person who's trying to stop him.
Right.
Willow thinks they should help the spirit find peace and justice for what was done to his people, where Giles thinks they should take a more realistic stance, considering that the spirit has now killed 2 people and will likely kill again. Buffy is torn between her guilt for the horrible things that were done to the Shumash and her Slayer duties to protect people. Poor Buffy just wants to have a nice dinner with her friends. Xander and Anya show up at Giles' place, and Xander is looking more sick than ever. The team start researching and find that the Shumash were subjected to a bunch of diseases by the colonials, and Xander seems to be coming down with all of them, including syphilis.
Not great.
Not great.
And Anya was right. It looks like he's coming down with every illness at once.
Yeah. The fact that he's been able to hold up for this long is kind of surprising. Yeah. Spike shows up and begs the Scoobies for sanctuary as he's still being hunted by the Initiative. He offers to trade information about the Initiative for safety, and after Willow confirms that he can't hurt anyone, they invite him in and tie him to a chair, which I think is hysterical.
It's great. This is the beginning of Spike being like a main character, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Definitely having more interaction with people like Willow and Xander and Giles than he would have normally.
Right.
Specifically Giles. He really hasn't had a lot of interaction with Giles.
No, not at all.
So let's see. Determining the Dean might be targeted as an aggressor next, Willow, Anya, and Xander head out to warn him. After determining that they were wrong and the Dean probably thought they were crazy, although he did give Anya a pie. Or his wife did. The group runs into Angel, who tells them that a bunch of other Shumash weapons have gone missing from the cultural center. They figure out the lead Shumash warrior is forming a raiding party to go after Buffy and head back to Giles' place. So this is when it's revealed to Anya and Xander that Angel's back.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Xander also says evil.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not evil. Why is everybody thinking that? It's like, well, what else would they think?
It's so good.
The raiding party show up at Giles' place just as Buffy and Giles are finishing Thanksgiving dinner setup. The raiding party starts attacking, shooting Spike with arrows several times in the process, thankfully missing his heart, so he's okay, but he does end up looking a bit like a pincushion.
Yes.
The gang jump into defense mode and then attack mode, attempting to take down the Shumash spirits who are attacking them. Angel helps from outside, away from the eyes of the Scoobies. After a couple of failed attempts, Buffy grabs the lead warrior's knife and determines that it can hurt and probably kill him. As soon as she discovers this, he transforms into a bear. And Spike starts yelling at her to undo it.
Yeah.
Xander distracts the bear by throwing potatoes at him long enough for Buffy to stab him with the knife and kill him. Killing the lead warrior causes his fellow warriors to disappear. Angel leaves, realizing Buffy is now safe.
Mm-hmm.
Gang plus Spike sit down for Thanksgiving dinner. Willow is ashamed at herself for fighting the Shumash. Giles tells her not to beat herself up too much because her instincts took over. The group says that they enjoyed all working together again and that it felt like old times. Xander lets slip that Angel was there. And the episode ends with everyone at the table staring at Buffy, waiting for her reaction as the only person who didn't know Angel was in town.
Yeah, it's a great shot from her POV. I love that they included Spike as at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Like you said, the episode's tone deaf, but there are some good moments in it.
Yeah.
So would you give it, and would you suggest that people watch it?
In my notes, I have 9. I think I need to bring that down to an 8. It's okay. This is one of like my guilty pleasure episodes.
Right.
I think it's hysterical. If you take out, like, you can completely recut this episode and take out like all of the stuff actually having to do with the Shumash and like those warriors. There are some great character moments in this episode, just between the characters trying to organize Thanksgiving dinner. This is an episode I go back to every Thanksgiving. For me, Thanksgiving is this episode and Friends, because Friends has some fantastic Thanksgiving episodes.
Yep.
I know and recognize that this episode is tone deaf and culturally disrespectful. I just think that it's also really fun and has some great lines and sparks one of the best Angel episodes, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. I like it. I give it a 7. I enjoy it. I will say, for me, my go-to is How I Met Your Mother. They have a lot of good Thanksgiving episodes. So, including the Slapsgiving, one of my all-time favorites. And so, yeah. But this is good, too.
Oh, New Girl is another show that has a really good Thanksgiving episode.
I need to go and watch that all the way through.
You do. It's hysterical.
But, yeah, so that's that for this episode. Let's move on to one of the funniest episodes in Buffy, period.
Okay, so the next episode, Season 4, Episode 9, is Something Blue. Originally aired November 30th, 1999, written by Tracy Forbes and directed by Nick Mark. Yeah.
All right.
Episode opens with Willow in Oz's room. It's clear he hasn't been back since he left. Buffy catches Riley helping to hang up a lesbian alliance sign. She pokes fun at him for it. This might be another one of those tone-deaf moments.
Yeah.
Riley admits that he's a lesbian. He starts to ask her about a picnic they were planning, but Buffy is confused. We get to find out that Riley has practice conversations with Buffy in his head, which is, I think it's a thing that a lot of us do when we like somebody and want to introduce like an idea or try to plan something. Like we have like a practice conversation in our head about how we're at least going to introduce this idea. Not many people will tell you to your face, I had a practice conversation, or I have practice conversations in my head before talking to you. So it turns out that Riley has gotten confused between a practice conversation he had in his head and one he actually had with the real Buffy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure if this is adorable or sad. Riley admits to Buffy that it's not easy talking to her sometimes, and then compares it to an oral exam.
This is not something someone wants to hear about themselves.
No, and Buffy makes exactly that point. She's like, that's what every girl wants to hear about the guy that she likes thinks about her.
Right.
Yeah, Buffy is rightly put off by this comment, but Riley tells her that she's a mystery. Somehow he manages to charm his foot out of his mouth by absentmindedly calling her beautiful.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Buffy does a lot to, like, forgive him putting his foot in his mouth. which
If
it
you
kind
if
of
you weren't so pretty, you know.
yeah, yeah. If he weren't Mark Lucas, oh my god. Um, Maybe that's why he's so distracted all the time. He doesn't notice things going on around him. Is because he's too preoccupied with the fact that his foot's in his mouth all the time.
Probably.
Let's see. Later that night, Buffy is telling Willow about her picnic date. She's very excited because Riley agreed to bring all the food, and all she has to do is show up and eat.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear.
Willow is amazing in her best friend role here, being supportive of Buffy and her new not quite boyfriend, and not making Buffy feel bad about the fact that she's still, like, obviously heartbroken over Oz.
Right.
Buffy says that she really likes Riley and thinks that he cares about her a lot, and she feels like something's missing because he's not making her miserable. Part of her believes that passion and love need to go hand in hand with heartache and pain, and she thinks of Riley as potentially too safe to hurt her, but isn't sure where the source of their passion will come from if he's not making her miserable. This is kind of a good,
it's very unhealthy.
Yeah, like, just PSA, you don't have to be miserable to be in love.
Right.
So let's see. Back at Giles' place, Spike is chained up in the bathtub while Buffy interrogates him for information about the initiative. They've set Spike up with a TV in the bathtub, and Giles brings him fresh animal blood in a Kiss the Librarian cup.
Yeah, it's a sweet setup, honestly.
Yeah. Buffy starts to think they've made it a little too comfortable for him there, and that's why he's not being forthcoming with information about the initiative. Willow suggests trying a truth spell to get Spike to talk. She offers to stop by the magic shop in the morning to pick up supplies and then come back the following morning to do the spell, so then she heads out. Buffy and Giles have a conversation in the bathroom with Spike. Giles says that Willow seems to be coping better with Oz's departure, and Buffy agrees that she's getting better. Spike chimes in that Willow is playing it off well, but really she's hanging on by a thread.
Right. It's just funny that he's the one, he's very emotionally intelligent. He's a sensitive boy.
Yeah.
Underneath it all.
He notices a lot more than people necessarily give him credit for. And that's kind of the thing. It's like I have to believe that with his vampire hearing, he hears everything that happens in that house.
Right.
So they could be in a room not with him and having a conversation. He'll hear it. So he hears everything.
Right. Yeah, I do think they missed an opportunity of having like a heart-to-heart scene of Willow and Spike, because he's sad about Drusilla leaving him. She's sad about Oz, and it would be like a very unusual, pair of characters to be having a heart-to-heart.
They had that heart-to-heart after he almost tried to kill her but didn't succeed.
Right, so he could have built off of that,
Yeah, I don't know that he's still upset over Drusilla anymore, though. He had kind of moved on with Harmony.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. Willow returns to Oz's room only to find that it's been cleared out. Turns out that he asked his old bandmate to clean out his room and send his stuff. A whole new wave of grief hits Willow, realizing this must mean that Oz is planning on settling down somewhere else and he's not coming back. Sometime later, the Scoobies are hanging out at the Bronze, and Willow seems happy, a little too happy. We discover that she's managed to get drunk off of 3/4 of a light beer. Let's see. Buffy reminds the gang of her fun times when she tried the beer.
Right.
After taking a jab at Xander's living situation, when he tries to take away her beer, Buffy tries to convince Willow to go home. Willow says that she can't stand feeling the way that she does, and Buffy tells her she just has to wait through the pain and wait for it to be over. Willow asks if there's any way to just make her pain go poof. Which, like, for anybody who's ever been broken up with, like, I think that we can at least relate on some level to this. It's like, I don't want to be just miserable and wait for it to go away. I just want it to go poof and be gone.
Right. But you know what? It's important to feel those feelings.
Yeah. Feel those feelings and learn from them so that you don't make the same mistakes again.
Right.
Let's see. That night, Willow gets up out of bed and grabs one of her spell books. She does a spell in the bathroom to have her will be done. Okay, so this scene, of her doing the spell on the floor in the girls' bathroom in the dorm just irks me because of how filthy that floor probably is. I mean, when I was in college, we literally, one of the bathrooms that I had to use in one of the dorms that I lived in, the entire bathroom would literally flood every time somebody took a shower. It was literally an issue with the plumbing.
Yeah.
Or like the way that they put in like the base of the shower. So just thinking of like how dirty that floor must be, and she didn't like put a towel down or anything. I'm like, ugh, it's so gross.
It's gross.
Last time when we recorded this episode, I remember giving the little nugget of information that, and I don't want to leave it out of this episode, even though we don't have the build up to have the same context of it.
Right.
So first of all, if you're gonna go to college and using the bathrooms in the dorms, townhouses, anything,
right,
wear shower shoes.
Absolutely.
First of all, nasty things can happen to your feet if you don't. Second of all, for at least the girls out there, Old Navy, at least when I went to college, had flip-flops, like those foam flip-flops, but they had platform ones. So they give you a couple extra inches, which can be fantastic if you're in a shower that like maybe it doesn't drain correctly. Having those couple extra inches of elevation between you and the water can really protect your feet.
Right.
So spend the extra $2 at the $1 flip-flop sale. Get the $3 platform flip-flops. I never regretted it.
All right, you heard it here.
Let's see. So getting back to the episode, the next day, Willow is trying to test out her new will be done powers, but they don't seem to be working. Giles shows up wanting to know why she never showed up to do the sooth spell on Spike that she had agreed to do earlier in the episode. He starts chastising her about not being responsible, and also about, if she's so heartbroken over Oz, maybe she shouldn't be doing magic right now at all because her emotions are all over the place. In a moment of frustration, Willow tells Giles that he doesn't see anything. This causes Giles to start losing his vision, and he heads home. Hopefully walking and not driving.
Hopefully.
With his vision slipping, Spike manages to escape his imprisonment at Giles' apartment. Back at the dorms, Willow is telling Buffy about her flop of the spell, and in a blink and you'll miss it moment, Willow accidentally turns Rat Amy back into real Amy for about 2 seconds before accidentally turning her back into a rat again. And I just think it's amazing that they brought back the actress to have a 2-second cameo. Yeah. And this is somebody that we haven't seen since what season? It was Gingerbread, so season 3?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it was a naked cameo too. It's just such a weird, hey, do you want to be in 2 seconds of this? You're gonna be naked.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, sure.
Spike's escape causes Giles to call Buffy and send her after Spike. Willow, upset that Buffy had to leave, says she'll probably find Spike in 2 seconds. Which she does, catching both of them by surprise.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, wow, I thought that would take longer. Spike's like, I know, me too. After venting to Xander about her problems and the lack of support by Buffy and Giles, Willow sarcastically says that Buffy should just go marry Spike if she needs him so badly. This causes Buffy and Spike to immediately and deeply fall in love, and for Spike to propose to her, much to the shock and disgust of Giles. Oh my god. It's such a funny scene. But yeah. I just think it's like Giles comes out, he's like, what the hell's going on? I can barely see. And Buffy's like, Giles, I'm engaged to Spike.
Oh man, it's so funny that the actors just go for it, just fully commit to this bit of being passionately in love, and I adore this scene. Their whole episode together. I just love it.
Let's see. Willow sarcastically makes fun of Xander for his past relationships and causes him to become a demon magnet, so demons start chasing him. A series of hilarious scenes ensue, including Buffy and Spike planning their wedding.
Yes.
Buffy asking Giles to walk her down the aisle and give her away at her wedding. Okay, that one's more sweet than hilarious.
Yes. Touching.
It's like Giles is even touched for like a second, and then he's like, no, this is all insane. You don't know what you're doing. And so Giles reveals that he's gone completely blind, and Spike immediately jumps into action to help him, which I think is adorable. And then so Buffy heads out to go get some stuff for a spell to help with Giles' vision, and she ends up going over to a window and looking at a wedding dress. Riley catches her checking out the wedding dress, and she starts telling him that she's engaged to a guy named Spike and inviting him to the wedding.
Yeah, Riley's just like, what? Like, what is happening?
He's like, wait, wedding? What wedding? She's like, my wedding.
Like, I love too. He's like, my boyfriend's old.
Like, well, not old? As old as my last boyfriend.
Oh man.
Oh. He's like, so who's the guy? And she's like, who? It's like the groom, Spike. Yeah. You're marrying a guy named Spike?
Oh, so good.
And with Riley going, okay, it's late, and I'm very tired now, and I'm just gonna go be away.
Yeah.
Just far away.
Oh man.
Let's see. Xander and Anya start getting chased and attacked by demons. They flee to Giles' place. Xander figures out that all the weird things going on are due to Willow and her spell to have her will be done, which has clearly gone wrong. Back at her dorm, Willow gets kidnapped by D'Hoffryn, the same demon who gave Anya her vengeance demon powers 1120 years ago. D'Hoffryn says that the pain Willow has inflicted on her friends has been inspired and offers to turn Willow into a vengeance demon. Willow is confused as she had no idea the spell had even worked and she did anything with it. D'Hoffryn shows her friends are in trouble as they're trapped in a crypt fighting off demons that have been sent after Xander due to his demon magnetness. At the point they like escape Giles' place and run, go to a crypt, and yeah. Let's see. Willow turns down his offer to become a vengeance demon, opting to be sent back to help her friends. She arrives and undoes the spell, causing the demons to disappear. Giles to get his sight back, and Spike and Buffy to both be revolted at all the things they had done while they were in love. Willow feels incredibly guilty about what she did to her friends, so she starts like guilt baking cookies.
Right. I just love when she turns him down. It's like this big like swelling, like, oh no, what's he gonna say? And he's just like, oh, that's disappointing.
He like gives her like a talisman.
Yeah.
He hands it out like a business card.
Yeah, basically like here's my card.
You ever change your mind? Just give me a ring.
Oh man, it's so fun. Stuff like that is just why Buffy's so good.
Oh yeah. It's that little like subverting expectations because he's built up to be like kind of like scary.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I tried. Here's my card. You change your mind.
Right.
Let's see. Buffy manages to play off the whole thing to Riley, telling him that, she had to give him a hard time after seeing her checking out wedding dresses. Buffy tells Riley that he really has a lot to learn about women, and he says that she's going to teach him. So much cringe.
Yeah. Yeah. Riley's a big time nerd. I don't know. Don't know what else to say.
But that would never be the kind of thing that I would want my boyfriend to say to me, or that I would want to say to my boyfriend. Right.
It's not great.
No. Oh, he's got this really weird like needs a mother kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which he finds in Maggie Walsh and also kind of in Buffy. It's all very weird. It's really gross.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, for a rating, I gave this one 8 stakes. It's hysterical. It's super fun. It has great comedic timing. Funny to see Spike in such a instantly different role within the Scoobies. So I like this episode.
Yeah. Give this a 9. I love it. This is wonderful. One of the funniest episodes. It's right up there with the Zeppo for me.
Oh, I love
in the
those
ones we've covered so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is great. Everyone should watch it.
Yes.
And yeah, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
A couple things. So the next episodes we're going to be covering in the next video are Hush and Doomed, which are fantastic episodes. If you are, for whatever reason, listening to this podcast and have not seen the series, please go watch those episodes before listening to us talk about them. It's going to make a lot more sense, especially in Hush, where we don't actually have any lines to reference.
Yeah, so Hushed is like, even outside of like people who are diehard Buffy fans, it's like considered, I think, one of the greatest like TV episodes of all time.
Oh yeah.
So
it's really, really cool, and it's really one of those episodes where Joss Whedon has talked about how Buffy kind of was his opportunity to play. So whenever you have written and directed episodes by Joss Whedon, which Hush is, you know they're going to be amazing. This was really like a groundbreaking episode. I think it might have actually won some awards. So it's a fantastic episode. So if for whatever reason, like I said, if you are watching this, if you're listening to the two of us and have never actually watched the series, I don't know why you're doing that, first of all.
Obviously just because we're so great.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Head over to my Twitter and let me know. But
follow.
but if you have,
trying to point to where your Twitter handle is on the screen.
Isn't it usually below me?
Right. But for me, it's like
okay,
right there.
Again, if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm sure the Twitter handles will be in the description or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have not seen Hush, please go watch Hush before we talk about it. For when I talk about how creepy the gentlemen are, I want you to actually know what I'm talking about. Yes. They are hands down some of the creepiest monsters of this entire universe. Right. I hate the gentlemen so much. But anyway, so again, if you've not seen Hush, go watch Hush. You can also hit me up on Twitter. I am at Jillian_Swan. That's Swan with 2 N's. Let me know if you're enjoying our episodes. I've been live tweeting some episodes over there. I didn't do something blue, but I did live tweet when I was watching Pangs. I may keep up with live tweeting if people are enjoying it. I haven't gotten a lot of kind of interaction over there yet. So if you like my tweets, please go over and like them and subscribe or follow or however Twitter works. I don't know how it works. But yeah. And also occasionally you can find me over on Twitch on the Grassblock UK channel. I'm usually over either in the comments or playing along. It's a group of people who like to play video games and mostly make fun of each other while they're doing it. It's a good time. You should go over, check them out, tell them I sent you. Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. So you can follow me on Twitter at @thefakebmar, that's BMARR. You can follow the channel on Twitter at WGEverything, on Instagram at WickedGetEverything, on Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGetEverything, and on TikTok, search WickedGetEverything. Until next time, we will see you. The Sunnydale Review is a Wicked Good Everything production. The fan art of Buffy was created by Fishbone Art. The logo was created by Tamar Kutab. The original intro and outro song was created by Alex Carl.